right now is a good time to buy Tesla? Is it at good prices? Is it undervalued? Is it overvalued? Hey, is Tesla even a good stock to add to your portfolio, full stop? Hey guys, you may have seen the headlines. Tesla has lost about $94 billion in market valuation in the first 2 weeks of 2024 alone. And the stock has taken a big hit, down by about 7% in just 7 days. So it's safe to say it's been pretty brutal. And I've seen a lot of people online panicking about this. But I think actually that it is the perfect time to add Tesla. And it's my biggest investment and I want more. And in this video, I'm going to explain why. Also, I finally have free shares to offer both the European investor and the US and worldwide investor. So make sure you check out the description and the pinned comment if you want some free shares. A lot of people that don't already have Tesla in their portfolio but do want to add it have been saying things like, I'm going to wait until it drops a bit more, maybe below $250, maybe below $240, $230, $220. You get the idea. And this is also the case for people that do have Tesla established already, but maybe they want to add more, but they're waiting for certain prices to start adding in. We've actually been pretty blessed as investors in the accumulation stage of our investing journey to get another opportunity at Tesla at these prices. Some people are seeing this as a downturn. I've even seen comments that say that Tesla stock is going to zero. Now, I don't know if those comments were a joke. They did make me laugh because I just think that is completely unreasonable. But even so, other people, including myself, see this as a real opportunity to get more of a great company at a lower price. And I'm actually kicking myself right now that I'm just not financially free. I'm not in the position where I have a ton of cash on the side that I can actually deploy into this investment. I am making my own moves in my portfolio. I'm, keeping my Discord up to date with this, where I'm shuffling some things to get some extra cash ready to go. But of course, as Tesla investors, when we see these price dips and we're really convicted and we're really bullish on the company, we would love to have so much money just sitting ready to go. Tesla, in my opinion, and that's all this is one of those companies that are truly once in a lifetime companies. Already in 2024, there have been so many pieces of news, so many headlines surrounding Tesla. And this isn't just, recently, this happens all the time. Some things are positive for sure. Most of the time it's very negative. That's just kind of the way the media works with Tesla, unfortunately. And some of these things are not even things that are in Tesla's control at all. But what we've got to remember is whilst we're seeing these headlines pop up, whilst we're seeing the stock price decline, it's unfortunate, sure. But, behind all of this is still Tesla as a company. It's the same company working towards the same goals, moving at a pace of innovation and growth like nobody else. They've been turning compound annual growth rate numbers of about 50%, which is amazing, but of course it can't happen forever. However, they do have other sectors like their energy sector, which will be seeing higher percentages in the short term. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Tesla's financials, like with any company, are clearly going to be impacted by the macro. When interest rates are up and then they cut prices, we then see this reflected in their income and their profits as the margins on the vehicles come down. But remember, this is all cyclical. We need to have a long-term mindset and understand how the macro works and how that impacts Tesla as a business. And the automotive industry is very, very unforgiving. What we need to do is we need to take Tesla and we need to compare Tesla to other car companies during these times of economic difficulties. And then what we will see is actually Tesla is really, they're able to perform very strongly during these difficult times compared to other automotive companies. And then what we need to remember is that actually Tesla is not just a car company. They have all these other verticals: energy, autonomy, AI, the bot, and all these areas can help bring the financial strength of Tesla up, can help bring the margins up. I'm speaking on behalf of myself here, but I think all Tesla investors honestly can agree with me on this one. We are not really accumulating Tesla stock. We're not buying Tesla stock. We're not getting particularly excited about Tesla and its growth in terms of their automotive sector. Sure, it's good. They're market leading. But what we are really doing is we are buying the stock for the future growth potential of FSD and the bot and other verticals, other sectors that Tesla have going on. I'm not purchasing Tesla stock on a weekly basis because I'm just so excited about the vehicles that they produce. Of course, that is an element because that is where their main revenue is coming in right now. And that's fantastic. But what I'm really doing is I'm betting on the company long term in all these other areas that they have going on. Just coming back slightly and thinking about Tesla in the here and now. We've had the Cybertruck delivery event happen recently. That was something that we were really anticipating happening. You know, we had this new vehicle that we knew was going to be released and deliveries were going to be starting soon, but it felt very long away. But that has now happened. Although, having said that, Elon has made it very, very clear many times that the ramping on this vehicle will be extremely difficult. He has said, you know, he's tempered our expectations and said that it will be maybe in a year and a half, 18 months time, that we can actually expect this vehicle to be a significant positive cash flow contributor to Tesla. When it's at the, 250,000 units per year in production numbers, that sort of time. But what we've got to think about is that short term, whilst production isn't fully ramped, the margins are going to be low. You know, they may even be losing money on this vehicle short term, but eventually the numbers should be pretty big because it's a vehicle that is completely different to anything that has ever been released before. It's been quite well to sit on the sidelines and actually look and see the excitement, the interest, the curiosity into the Tesla Cybertruck. And I'm quite sad that I never got the chance, and I don't see that coming up anytime soon, to fly to the US and actually see the Cybertruck in person in a showroom, because I've heard many people say that, once you're next to it, it's completely different. It feels so different to anything else, and it's much bigger than you anticipate and all of these things. I would love to have seen that, of course, and maybe one day I'll get an opportunity. But I'm still excited to actually see the numbers on this when it becomes more established in the market that Tesla have now only just entered. They've never been in the trucking market before. And as far as I understand, in the US, the truck market is absolutely massive. So now they've entered this, what's going to happen? Because we know from history that Tesla enter a market and they disrupt it completely. And I think it will be the same with the Cybertruck. So of course, the Cybertruck could be a really positive addition to Tesla's financials, but the thing that is thought to be the biggest driver in Tesla value increase is FSD, autonomous driving. The thing is about this is that long-term investors, I'm speaking about you guys watching this video that have been invested into Tesla stock for 5, 6, 7, or even more years. You've been hearing about FSD for a very long time, but it's still not yet fully there. It's still not yet deployed out. It's still not fully completed or solved. And that's got to be kind of frustrating. However, there have been many things that Tesla have promised by a certain date and it's not happened. They tend to be very optimistic about the dates that they give. But having said that, what they do is they do deliver what they're going to say they deliver. But sure, just sometimes it happens at a slightly later date. But for you guys feeling a little bit frustrated, maybe you expected FSD to be somewhere that it's currently not at this given time. What I would say that, I'm saying to myself as well, is that we are seeing progress being made. And we know from the facts and the data that Tesla have the advantage. And what they've also been doing is removing the bottlenecks from their own processes, from their own procedures to make FSD, happen and scale as quickly as it possibly can. But even outside of Tesla, there are many regulations specific to each country even, that make this a whole lot more complex, a whole lot more complicated. It is going to be really tough to navigate this, but it was never going to be quick. It was never going to be easy. But when I do my research, I cannot unsee that autonomy is the future in literally every sector, driving included. And then when I know that, I look around and I think, are any other companies anywhere near approaching to where Tesla is right now? Are there any other companies that could potentially overtake Tesla in solving FSD first and maybe getting a larger market share of this? And the answer to that when I'm looking is simply no. And then we've got the robo-taxi fleet, which again hasn't happened yet, but this is just a fleet of autonomous or self-driving Tesla vehicles. And the robo-taxi fleet, and I do this myself, is often linked to FSD and the compact vehicle. We kind of see them as this trio. You have a robo-taxi fleet of compact vehicles that are all showing FSD, are all driving autonomously, and those things sort of come as a package in my mind. But what we've got to remember is that actually these are separate things. Tesla can and probably will, like almost definitely will, launch the compact two-seater car before they solve FSD. And this is another thing. The two-seater car, It sounds weird, but we are expecting this mass affordable new generation compact vehicle that Tesla will hopefully announce relatively soon to be a two-seater vehicle. Now, when I think, I've seen a couple of two-seater vehicles around where I live and I see them drive, and I don't look at them with awe. I don't want one. I would probably rather walk than drive a two-seater vehicle that are currently on the market right now, if I'm honest with you. But I very much imagine that when Tesla release their versions, it will be sleek, it will be nice, it will be designed in a way that people really want it. It won't resemble the two-seater smart cars that we are used to right now. At least I hope it won't. But it sounds really weird, right? Why would Tesla design a two-seater vehicle? Is that even what people want or need? Well, actually, what we're seeing Tesla do here, if they do this, if they actually do release a two-seater vehicle, what we're seeing them do is change the industry again, disrupt what is already expected within the industry, which is, of course, much bigger vehicles. But it's smart, actually, because what the case studies and research show is that most of the time, cars are occupied by one or two people. Whenever I'm in a vehicle, literally, I would say 95% of the time, and I don't have children, so this is going to change, obviously, depending on the situation, but 95% of the time, I am in a vehicle either on my own or with one other person. And this is the same for taxis as well. Most of the time, it's just the driver plus one other person. So it makes complete sense. Why spend the extra money manufacturing a bigger car when you can actually do it for cheaper? You can have less parts, it can be easier to manufacture, it can be quicker, and it can still serve people with what they need. And they already know what they're doing in terms of manufacturing. This compact vehicle won't be like the Cybertruck. It's not going to be completely different in terms of manufacturing and ramping it up. It will be what they already know with some small tweaks, some small differences. Obviously, it'll be a brand new vehicle, but it will be a lot easier for them to manufacture. And the point is that they can release this before FSD is solved. They can start getting this sold mass market, and this will help drive their production and delivery numbers. This whole question, whether we think right now is a good time to buy Tesla, is it at good prices? Is it undervalued? Is it overvalued? Hey, is Tesla even a good stock to add to your portfolio, full stop? All of this comes down to you asking yourselves some simple sets of questions. Do you think the FSD will be solved by Tesla? Do you think that eventually there will be a robo-taxi fleet? Will Tesla continue to be the market leader for EVs? Will the Cybertruck do good numbers? Will the Model 3 refresh vehicles do good numbers? Hey, will there be a Model Y refresh vehicle in the future, and will that do good numbers? Optimus, will that be in factories doing useful work at some point? Will it eventually be in homes? Will Tesla Energy continue to grow at the rates we're seeing? If you think Tesla is a team of the most innovative people and they will continue to grow and disrupt industries even as a mega cap company, if you've answered yes to all these questions, then you probably feel like Tesla as an investment, the reward outweighs the risks. And if that's the case, you probably see that at current prices, or if it even goes below $200 a share, that it's an absolute steal. But look for evidence both for and against what you think, and look for evidence that all of these things are going to happen. And I saw this post from Alex actually on X, and he is referencing a LinkedIn job description that he found. And it shows that Tesla is hiring engineers for high volume mass production of Optimus. But if you doubt those things and you actually answer no to those questions, which is, completely okay. I'm just sharing what I think. I don't really care if you guys invest in Tesla or not. It's completely up to you. I'm just showing you what I think and what I'm doing. But if that's the case, then you probably think that right now it's too expensive per share, and actually the risks may completely outweigh the rewards for you. And that's all we're doing as investors. We're constantly trying to find those companies, those stocks where the rewards may really pay off compared to the potential risks. With Tesla Energy, we are now seeing a very interesting and very exciting thing happen. It's scaling and it's ramping in demand. And right now we are at that inflection point Very early days, but I think now we're hitting that inflection point and we'll really see this start to take off in the mid and long-term future. And we've seen this inflection point happen many times before with many companies, Tesla included, for example, the Model Y. In Q3, we learned that the energy storage deployments increased by 90% year over year. Of course, we'll see what happens in the Q4 earnings, which are coming up very, very soon. But the point here is that Tesla Energy is now making more of a significant impact to Tesla's overall revenues. And the margins for this area are very, very good. In Q3, actually, we learned that for the first time ever, the margins on the energy sector of Tesla overtook the automotive business of Tesla. Just thinking about Megapacks, which is the area of Tesla Energy that I think most Tesla investors are most bullish on, but Megapacks are solving a real world problem that no one else is, and that gives them significant scarcity. So what they are doing is they are solving utility scale alternative energy storage, and they are doing it in a commercially viable way, which is of course very, very important as a business. And because of this, the demand is going up and the supply at the moment is coming down, meaning that they are backlogged right now. I think if you order a Megapack, you wait till 2025 at the moment, but they will continue to scale and be able to serve this demand. And I only see the demand for these continue to grow, especially as the demand on the electrical grid increases as EVs are mass adopted. So a lot of things have been happening. We've heard the news that Hertz are selling off 20,000 of their EVs. Now remember, out of those 20,000, only 3% of them are actually Tesla vehicles. And although I believe, they short term they are doing what's best for their business, whatever they need to do, they need to do. But I do think they're missing out on a bit of an opportunity here, because at some point in the future, autonomous EVs will replace the taxi fleet and they will actually transition from being a depreciating asset to being a revenue generator. But of course, we're not there yet. And then we've got the Red Sea crisis, which is of course impacting the supply chains. And this is a little bit out of Tesla's control, but we've seen many times before whereby things on the macro level have impacted Tesla that they haven't been able to necessarily control directly, but they've been agile, they've shifted direction if they've needed to, and I believe they will be absolutely fine. But among all of this maybe negative news that we're seeing, we've also had some really positive news. The Model 3 refresh is now being released in North America, and it's been doing really well over here in Europe, so I'm excited to see how that does. We've had the news that Tesla's market share is now actually above the likes of BMW and other massive car manufacturers. And this isn't just EV market share. And then we look at stock price. And what we see is that current stock price is about the same as Tesla stock was 3 years ago. But look at everything that they've done in those 3 years. They are a completely different company now. They've got so many different things that they're working on that will completely change the direction of their future. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. And remember, I've left you some freebies in the pinned comments, so make sure you check that out. And also let me know if you just enjoy this sit down, chatty sort of video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with another.